Welcome to Parev TV. We are all getting ready to celebrate Easter, which brings with it very good beginnings and messages of resurrection. I would like to wish all our listeners, friends, viewers, happy Easter, and in the traditional Armenian words, Christos Haryavi Merelots, Ortniale Haruchun Christosi. And speaking about beginnings, joining us today are two outstanding, successful young engineers who have recently been elected as president and vice president of the Northeast section of the AESA, that is the Armenian Engineers and Scientists of America. They are Raffi Jamgotchian and Anahid Andonian. Raffi is the founder of Triada Networks. This is a cybersecurity and IT service company supporting small businesses in the greater New York City region. Anahid Andonian is the founder and president of Anahid Engineering, beautiful name, and has been providing over 30 years of structural and transportation engineering, construction, and advisory services to clients. Anahid is a registered professional engineer. Honestly, I've congratulated you both, and I'm very, very proud of your accomplishments. Very impressive at a young age to do so much. And proud especially that you're giving back. What you're doing today, Raffi and Anahid, is basically you're giving back by taking on these positions as president and vice president of AESA. You are giving back to the community, and this is a very, very important thing. Raffi, let me start with you. How long have you been a member of the AESA, and what did you get of the AESA?
So I've been involved loosely since the founding in 2009. My father was one of the founding members of the AESA and the originating founding fathers of the Northeast section. I helped out with a little bit of the website work and things like that, kind of behind the scenes, and then later became a little bit more involved with some of the mentoring. Anahid will talk a little bit about that. But it allowed us to collaborate at a level with our peers, as well as you said, give back. Giving back assumes you took something to begin with, so I'm not terribly fond of that term, but definitely in the sense of when the youth come to see, it's a scary time. I have two sons in college. They're looking for new work as they go into their careers. It's always nice to have a friendly face on the other side to converse with and ask questions with.
Anahid, how long have you been with the AESA, and what did the organization give you?
So I've been involved with AESA again since 2009, 2010. I was more involved in the beginning and then maybe a bit less. I participated to the mentoring forums. When I say a little bit less, it's just that some of the events were in New Jersey. We held events at Columbia University, at Fordham University. New Jersey was a little bit out of my way because I live in Queens, New York. Yeah, what Raffi was mentioning, you see how the time has passed, right? It's been 12 years. Our membership grew, and we will definitely discuss today more in depth about the mentoring forum that's coming up and about our efforts to grow the membership numbers.
We spoke earlier before we got on the Zoom interview. We spoke about the mentoring forum and the STEM program you're working on. We've had other interviews with the previous presidents and vice presidents of AESA, and mentoring program you should all be very proud of. This is a very, very important program, and many, many members of the community speak about that program as a novelty, as a very important, because we all need somebody to guide us, especially today and ever. We as a community we never enjoyed the luxury of having people guiding us. whether it's doing a radio program. Nobody tells us how to do a radio program. Engineers especially, TV production, artists, they all need mentoring support. Anahid, since you're so big about mentoring and helping connect people with mentors in their industries, tell us about what is your objective and what is it you want to do?
So regarding the mentoring forum, which is at its 11th edition, this is the first time it's going to be a COVID mentoring forum. We were holding it in March, traditionally at Fordham University, beginning of March. Last year was still on, even though was a bit the threat of the pandemic. This year will be the first time that we will host it in a virtual format. And Raffi is organizing the Zoom breakout rooms where different specialties can basically enter the room, and the mentors will be waiting for the mentees to have a conversation and to answer to their questions, their concerns, and hopefully we can recruit more members and get them involved in our program. So the benefits of having it virtual is that we can appeal to a larger audience, including the West Coast, meaning California, and also Armenia. That's the reason why it was strategically scheduled at 1 p.m. so we can accommodate all time zones. And we hope to have more exposure nationally and internationally with this format.
Anahid, 1 p.m. what date?
So it will be Sunday, April 18 at 1 p.m.
Raffi, if I'm a young engineer or a young scientist, what would you tell me to encourage me to attend the mentoring session?
Look, it's hard enough to try to figure out what you want to do the rest of your life. You don't really get that feel when you're going through college to get what a real world looks like. One of my I'll just give two examples. One of my sons did an internship with an engineering firm, Stantec International, which has actually brought in other Armenian engineers in the past. He decided that wasn't his path, and it allowed him to make a shift in his program, and now he's looking for his next opportunity. You'll also hear one of the brief speakers before we go into the breakout rooms, a young woman, very accomplished, Maral, who's a civil engineer, also happened to go through Stantec at the time. So you can see kind of the full circle of her as a student going through the mentoring programming, becoming a mentee, and now becoming a mentor for the next generation. We're now getting to that point where we're able to do that. So it's a fantastic way, and not only just STEM. I mean, the AESA focuses on STEM specifically, but the mentoring program is actually a broad disciplinary thing. We're doing it with APO, so there'll be physicians there. The Armenian Bar Association is involved, so there'll be lawyers there. So there's a number of disciplines that will be there for all sorts of students. And if folks are interested, the AESA website has the registration link. You'll get an email, and you just join and participate.
What age group would you focus on? What age group should be interested in such a mentoring session?
It's interesting. In the past, it's always been near graduate or just graduate from the collegiate level. We've even seen some postmaster folks here, but over the years, it's become younger and younger. where, you know, we had high school students come.
Yes.
And actually more recently, in recent years, we even had older middle school kids come. And especially when it comes to STEM, and you want to appeal to, let's say, women in STEM, the earlier you get them involved, the better. And so I would say nearly any age. The other potential is maybe you're looking for a change of careers. You've already worked in some industry for a while and you're interested in something new. That also could be an opportunity for folks to see, you know, what's available. It's no pressure. You're learning something. You're learning about what's going on. The other aspect of it is that this is not a one-time thing. This is just the beginning of the mentoring season. It's a part to get people together to connect, and then hopefully stay connected throughout the year as you gain that mentorship.
Anahid, what percentage of the attendees are women, are females? You know, give me a breakdown. Give me an idea of what's happening.
Over the years, I have to say, the way Raffi stressed stronger women participation in STEM, I would say that there is more participation of women in engineering. One of the things was over 20 years ago when I went and I got my New York PE license, which is an 8-hour exam, 2 parts. And one of the funny things, if I can say, was during the break, the bathroom line for the men was a mile long. For women, there was no problem. So that would kind of exemplify, you know, we were finally lucky in one aspect that we didn't have to spend the break just waiting in line, and we could go maybe over our notes. But it has changed, and I have to say that even at larger corporations, you can see more women, and the effort that's been made to promote younger women. So it's not only men. It's not always easy. So that's why it's important for people, like you say, I would say all ages. When you ask who can participate, all ages, we encourage, because we need mentors with experience to share with the younger engineers, college, or maybe just high school students looking for their path in the future. And it's free. This is one thing that we're gonna stress, that it is free. And I'm gonna say it's convenient, right? Now you don't have to commute. You can just open your laptop, register, and join us. And it's very good because it gives you, it opens some doors. There are other societies out there as well. You know, the American Society of Civil Engineers, the Railway Club in New York, and probably New Jersey, whoever is familiar with their other societies. So we can encourage them to join those societies as well. And a lot of times when I go to these events, I do meet other fellow Armenian engineers. So we do know each other from in and out of the Armenian circle.
Raffi, Armenia has always been close to our hearts and our actions. We have always been thinking of Armenia, how to stand by Armenia, how to support Armenia. And the engineers and the doctors and the lawyers have always stood by Armenia. I understand there are projects you are involved with, AESA is involved with, that deals with Armenia's STEM projects. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Where does this fit into what you're doing, and what type of cooperation is there between you and Armenia?
Yeah, I mean, it's been key part of the ASA, both in headquarters in California as well as the Northeast section, about collaboration with Armenia. I mean, some of the past things we've done, we did a collaboration with Rutgers and the
Mhm.
National University of Architecture and Construction in Armenia, along with FAR, Venture Armenia, the Artisan Villages Initiative, among other things. We continue to work with uh, one project for Gumri technology, uh, as well as the Vanadzor technology, where they are taking post-war veterans or widows and training them in basic technology skills so that they can go back to work. And this is something that started actually pre-war, but it's now become even more imperative post-war, so that these folks can get a living wage that they can work with. The great thing is that technology is one of the things that Armenia is really good at.
Yes.
And so we're seeing that next generate try to train that next generation into those jobs. Another area that we're exploring is with a group called Sci-Hub, which is looking to empower the cybersecurity industry within Armenia. It's obviously something that I'm very passionate about, not only from a defensive point of view, but also as a industry point of view. We see similar models done in Israel, where it has worked really well for them, as not only for their own defense, but also as a way to increase the overall economic standing of Israel. We see that as an ideal model for us to explore in Armenia as well. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking at in a collaborative way between both ASA and our sister organizations in Armenia.
Anahid, there are many, many people, young members of the community who definitely need direction, but definitely entertain the sciences. There's so much to do in the sciences. What advice would you give young high schoolers in terms of what subject to take, what to concentrate on, and how everything comes together at the end?
Um, they have to follow their passion. Engineering is not always easy. It's tedious, maybe boring at times. So you have to really be passionate about it. I'm a bridge engineer, and I love my bridges, the drawings, and all that. But it requires a lot of patience, and you have to do something that you're passionate about. It doesn't have to be only a job. So that you can find new ways, innovative ways, and that's what we're looking for, so we can excel, right, and become prominent members, hopefully.
Yeah,
Um,
but what courses would you recommend they concentrate on?
well, again, it's I don't know. The high school has its own curriculum, so I know there's like math, physics, chemistry. I
Yeah.
know chemistry can be difficult.
Sure.
I know my mother was a chemical research engineer, so she did explain to me a lot of the stuff. So I did understand chemistry. I know my colleagues in high school had a more difficult time. Um, Also tutoring, if you think you don't understand something and you just want to push it aside just because you didn't get it at the first pass, try tutoring, try to get somebody to explain to you, and then you're gonna see how catching it is, all this to basically solve the problems and understand what's happening.
Raffi, to parents, what is your advice as they guide their children in terms of preparing them?
So, I took an engineering path to go to school. In fact, when I was looking at um, colleges and curriculums and programs, it was actually Hyde Husik who encouraged me to go to Rensselaer Polytechnic and study engineering. It was the only reason I was able to is because you tutored me in calculus. I had a, we had some difficulty getting past that. So that was definitely a key to that. But then after studying engineering in college, after doing some engineering work, where I did kind of shift into more in the IT and cybersecurity realm. And for me, it was exactly what Anahid said. It was really kind of a passion thing. Computer engineering was a passion. That part of it still is. But I wanted to take it kind of in a slightly different direction, and that was kind of my thing. Obviously it's a heavy math-based subject. So if you're a strong math, it's definitely a key place. Chemistry, for me, not so much. I didn't do well in the chemical ends of the engineering program. Then the interesting thing about engineering programs is that the first 2 years of engineering is fairly similar, regardless of your discipline. There's some nuances, but largely it's the same. And it's really until the later years, which is why you can start in any engineering program, and sometime during your second year you can decide, yeah, I think I'm going to go into civil or mechanical or electrical or computer or architectural or whatever, and still not lose a step. It's very different than other disciplines, and in that sense. Plus, from purely an economic point of view, you can make a good living as an engineer. You just have to put in the time and the effort to get there. The time and effort is a little bit compressed, unlike, say, medical or legal, where it's stretched out a little bit longer. But you can still get there, and you can support a family on it.
Beautiful. Anahid Hayerenov, ինչ կուզեի լսել, հայախոս։
Right. So just a few things, because Raffi touched upon the mentoring thing. So I would urge students, right, middle school or high school, don't push something aside and don't say, I hate math or I hate physics. Get help, ask for help at the first hurdle, get it, understand, move forward, and then it's just going to become natural. Before I leave, I just want to say to encourage people to join our organizations, AESA Northeast. Students is $20 per year, professionals $80, and we also have a lifetime membership for $1,000. So it's not expensive. It can be rewarding. And now, my final message, ինչսեմ Փարիզադիկ, առողջություն եւ ամեն ինչ լավ։
Ադե հայերեն ուզեցի բամբս, Ռաֆիթուն հայերեն բամբս։
Շատ շնորհակալ եմ որ մեզի ընդունեցիր ֆորումին մեջ, and շատ ուրախ եմ հաջիս մեր website-ին կացեք, join, ահագին activity-ներ պիտի ունենանք, lecture series, շատ խոսքեր, դարին ընթացքին, բայց ամենը կսկսի as mentoring forum, so I encourage you, please join.
Հաջողություն ձեզի եւ ինչ ուրախ ենք, որ կմասնակցի քաուտային կյանքի մեջ։ Շնորհակալություն ձեզ։ Լավագույն։
Շնորհակալություն։